going to try this one more time. This is take 3. The phone keeps cutting off for some reason. Anyhow, last night I made a live video. It was a confession, and I was processing some deer. I was stuck out in a field on Sunday with a new friend that I was helping move deer stands, and all he had in his cooler was Gatorade and beer, and I wasn't about to drink the beer, and I was deathly thirsty, like to the point where I felt like I was going to pass out. So I tried even scooping some water up out of the bottom of the cooler, seeing if that would work, and it just tasted like crap. So I had 4 Gatorades out in that field, and I tell you what, when I woke up yesterday to go to work, I didn't feel bad at all. I felt great. My joints even still today. Guys, I think there's something wrong about this sugar and carb count or whatever it is when it comes to people with severe arthritis. I think a lot of these doctors that talk about being on a strict ketogenic or regimented carnivorous program, and that's going to yield the best joint health, pain relief, and stuff like that, it's not correct. It is not correct. And I've been seeing that over the last 6 or 7 months. Like, I love being keto or carnivore, but I do know the fact that there is sugar and carbs. They do have a place in my life, and whether it come from complex carbs from a sweet potato or something like that, or a starchy carb coming from sweet potatoes, a slower releasing, slower digesting carb, they have a place in my life. And whenever I get to this real bad joint pain that I go through, which I've been very open with you guys, and I have something like a couple Gatorades or sweet potato, my joints are fine for weeks again, and I can still stay in ketosis while it's happening, and then I have to reset and do it again. So the video I made last night about confession was the amount of sugar that I had on Sunday really, really, really has helped my joints the last 2 days. So I think some of us maybe should start looking more into this. Why is it that my situation is different than everybody else? And I don't want to hear because I'm different, everybody else's journey is different. We're all humans. We also have a liver, a pancreas, kidneys, a heart. We function the same. There's some differences about us that make us up, that make our diet different. But overall, why is it that I can have sugar or carbs and be fine for weeks and stay in ketosis and reap the benefits, but then all of a sudden have to reset and go right back to it when my joints start acting up, like to the point where I don't even want to go to work, or medication doesn't even help? There's something to that, and that's what I think some of these doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, and know-it-all keto people that think they've got it all figured out, they're missing. And they're missing big time. And that's why I've created the group that I created called Carnivore Reset, to start introducing some small different types of foods in people's lives so they can get a feel for whether or not what causes problems and what does cause problems. So just be aware that, you know, it's not all about following somebody and holding what they say 100% truth, because it's not. That's not the case in any of these situations. None of these doctors, none of these nutritionists, none of these keto people, nobody, none of us, not even me, knows 100% what's going on, and nothing should be held 100% for truth. It should be all held for anecdotal evidence. The studies and stuff people talk about, none of that stuff should be held for 100% truth. We don't know, we haven't been there, we don't know the controls and stuff that were put in place, and we can't just go through life believing everything everybody says just because it fits our agenda 100%. So I'm starting to see now, even though as hardcore as I was with everything, saying, you know, you don't need to cheat, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, there is probably some kind of benefit to it. I'm starting to see now in my journey alone, whenever I make a choice that's not a ketogenic or a carnivorous choice, I reap some kind of benefit from it in some way. I've been doing this over 2 years now, and now whenever I do these things, my body does not even feel like it's going through a flu-like state anymore. I don't even hurt. I don't feel lethargy. I don't get lack of energy and stuff when I do it. I think the difference is, on a ketogenic protocol, your ketone levels are so high and your sugar levels stay low, you crash from that. But on a carnivorous protocol, your ketones don't go as high for the most part. That's what I'm seeing, and that's not just anecdotal. That's what I'm seeing across the board, even in the carnivorous group. I get to see these people posting their comments and stuff like that. I get to approve their comments or not approve their comments, and it's typical that blood sugar's a little higher and ketones are a little bit lower on a carnivorous diet, because people aren't chasing ketones. They're not chasing blood sugar on a carnivore protocol. And I noticed that people that fall off of a carnivore protocol and then go back on, don't have the same issues that a ketogenic person does. So that may be something to look into as well. The crash is just not there. It's nowhere near as bad whenever you do carnivore and you come back to keto. Or you do carnivore and you eat standard American food or any other kind of food and then you go back to carnivore again. You don't have that transition problem as much as you do when you're on keto. That's one thing I can tell you for sure that I'm seeing from people, is they make the choice to go out with their families and stuff on the weekends and have the foods that they don't want to have, but when they go back to carnivore, they go back to carnivore. It's no more processed junk, it's no more Fox products, it's no more fake treats and things like that. They just go back to carnivore. And they live it until they do it again. And they're not cheating and stuff in between and eating a bunch of junk and stuff in between. You know, the fake fat bombs and bulletproof coffee crap and all that other stuff, because they don't do that. They eat carnivore. And then when they fall off or they make the wrong choice or they make a choice just because that's their choice, they jump right back on almost with no issues at all. Because there's something about being on a carnivorous protocol that kills that sweet craving almost immediately, sometimes within days. Anyhow, there is something that people are missing here. There's something that doctors are missing. There's something that people are missing about complex carbs and sugar and how they do somewhat help you. And I'm not going to even debate that with anybody, because you guys have seen that I've tried everything. I've tried increasing fat. I've tried increasing water. I've tried increasing electrolytes. I've decreased certain things. I've stayed away from fibrous vegetables that cause me inflammation and stuff like that. I've added certain things back in, and a lot of times they just don't work. I've already been there, done that. I don't need the suggestions and recommendations on that. I've already been through that. I mean, I've got 5 groups where I get to hear thousands of recommendations when I talk about this stuff. I definitely don't need it on YouTube. But there's something people are missing here. There is something that sugar and carbs does for my joints, and that's it. Nothing else, really. Just for my joints. So I'll leave you with that. I'll let that weigh on your mind. Maybe leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Let's have a conversation about this. Preferably not to help me, and I don't need the suggestions on why I should be doing more of this or more of that. I've already tried all that stuff. Maybe let's talk about why sugar and carbs actually helps benefit my joints, where the next person it may not. Alright guys, thanks. Keto on, carnivore on. Remember, this is your journey.